Hello and welcome! How are you guys doing tonight? I am Danny J, aka Jakobescu, and I am right here with Sir Galahad himself. How you doing, man?
Evening. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, everybody.
It's good to have you guys tonight. Tonight, what do we got going on, Joe?
Tonight we have Archangel Hellfire. It's the first round of our 16 arcade bracket that we have. This is one of the first arcade versus arcade VR esport tournaments held ever. And so we're really excited for what we have planned for you guys tonight.
This is awesome. So how many arcades? It's 16 arcades
16.
Around North America, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And it's a single elimination tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we are going through round one.
Round one, going fast.
So we got 16 teams. We're going to nail it down to 8 tonight. And then we're going to come back, do the next 8 in a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, correct?
Correct, yeah, and we'll go all the way down to the championship round, which the two winning teams are being flown to TwitchCon, where they can battle it out there with the Archangel Hellfire team.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, pretty
That
dope.
is so cool.
Yeah.
So for all you Archangel Hellfire mechazoids, I believe that's the technical term that I just made up.
Mechazoids.
Mechazoids. We are excited for you guys. And I think we should introduce our teams tonight. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, who do we got coming up?
All right, we got, first off, just thanks to all the arcades and the arcade owners and their staff that are running this remotely, okay? So we're here in Salt Lake City communicating via Discord, email, phone with all these VR arcade owners, and we understand that it's probably a little stressful on their end, but we feel the heat, and we feel the pressure, and we feel the sensational esports action getting ready for tonight. First off, we have VR World from New York City. These guys, they've been around for a while, since June 2017, which is really cool. They told us that they are the largest VR destination in North America. What does that mean? 3 floors of action in downtown New York, right across the street from the Empire State Building. I cannot imagine what their rent space is like.
I know my little sister lives in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Has a 370 square foot bedroom.
That's like
single bedroom.
This desk space, right?
And they're paying like $1,500 a month.
Man. Yeah, so we bless you, VR World, for your rent space and for all the New York folks and tourists that you guys have running through, and for being part of this this competition tonight. That's pretty exciting. Who do we got
we'd
next?
love to come visit you.
Oh man, next time. Yeah.
Just saying.
Just to throw them a little bone, we scoured through all of their Google reviews for the best ones.
They were all good.
And they were all good. I mean, 5 out of 5 stars every single time. But the best one that we liked, we'll call this Timmy.
Timmy.
Not a real name. Timmy said, "This experience is life-changing. The future is here, and it will boggle your mind to walk 50 stories over a plank above New York City or slalom down a dangerous ski slope. So VR arcades are a real thing. People go there to have fun. The review says it feels so real. It's the best place to visit in New York City. And there's something for every age and every level of gaming experience. Prices are fair. Staff is nice. And nestled under the Empire State Building." That's awesome. Cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great location. I think that what they have going on is really, really cool. And they will be taking on tonight VR Territory. They are out of Orlando, Florida. We got some East Coasters.
There you go.
Loving the East Coast, representing.
Oh, I hope the weather's okay down there. Their part of the world, man. It's been really messy recently, but I'm not sure.
A little rainy.
Yeah, a little rainy. So get some wind.
All right, so VR Territory, they are a fully immersive virtual reality experience center. They're trying to bring you the best in live virtual reality entertainment.
Yeah.
It says live virtual reality. I don't know how that works.
Yep, you'll get to see more from their arcades. So tonight's kind of special because we're streaming footage from each of these locations as the teams are battling it out. So similar to what you might see on, like, say, the Weather Channel or ESPN, something a little more exciting. They have the central office where they're commentating from, and then they have the different matches going on live.
Absolutely. So just a review on VR Territory. This comes from Angela, made-up person. Made-up name, real person.
Angelo, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
Today I visited VR Territory and it was an awesome experience. For someone who is not into video games, I really enjoyed myself. They have a large selection of video games where you can select multiplayer or play on your own. This place is clean and the staff was extremely informative and helpful. I can't wait to go back to Orlando and do this again.
Yeah.
So, 2 awesome arcades battling it out tonight in this game. So let's go ahead and talk about, are they already in game? All right, so we should probably switch into game mode.
Let's do this thing, man. Yeah.
All right, so we got VR territory on the left. We have
VR World on the right.
VR World on the right. So we are getting feeds from both of these guys. Now, Joe, tell us a little bit about this game so that those that may not know it as well can kind of have an understanding.
Okay, so Archangel Hellfire is a really interesting game. It actually started out as a single-player game that was on rails, and the players kind of were bummed out. The graphics were nice, but they wanted to explore. They wanted to fly around. They wanted to have more control inside the battle mechs themselves. So the developers, it's a team called Skydance, they were really responsive, and they built out this Archangel Hellfire, which is a response to that feedback. PvP multiplayer. So what you have here on the left is the inside the battle mech kind of perspective. The player, they're able to move their head left and right without disorienting themselves. So the mech is actually turned using one of the controllers. The player can you can see that they're hovering around a little bit and that they have a few different abilities. There's 3 classes of battle mechs, right? What do we have?
Right. You got your light battle mech, your medium battle mech, and your heavy battle mech.
Correct.
Each one, they come with your standard pew-pewers is the technical term.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the machine guns. And then they also have a special weapon for each hand.
Correct. Each class has their own specialty weapons for each hand. What's really interesting is looking at kind of the strategy between choosing different classes of battle mechs. So like the light class, for example, they're really speedy. They have low armor. They can do some good damage, but they have to be really precise with their movement and mobility in order to position themselves so they don't just get destroyed, right?
Absolutely. They are more the stealthy kind of flanking, getting around behind, because headshots and shots in the back, although maybe not the most honorable to shoot someone in the back, it does do a lot more damage to the opposing mechs.
Oh, that's great to know. In the light class battle mech actually has a stealth mode, correct?
Cloak of invisibility.
Yeah.
A la Harry Potter.
No, we love it. Yeah. So
WB. Fund us.
So what you're looking at, if you look at the interface here, is you see a few things happening. At the top of, like, if you can kind of see the bottom of it, that there's 4 sliders above the pilot's head. These 4 sliders, I think, are one thing that gives this game some serious strategic kind of opportunities. Yeah.
Not only do you get to pick your mech, but then you can customize your mech. You get to customize the attack power, the defensive abilities, the energy, how fast you go through it, and how fast it recharges, and you get to pick your speed. So you can balance out your mech however you want. So in game, you'll see some of the more advanced players. If they're under heavy fire and their teammate dies, you'll see them probably kick up their mobility to try to get out of there, kick up their defense, and then once they're away, kick up their lower their mobility, kick up their energy recharge so that they can get to those special powers that they have.
Yeah, so this is a serious test in multitasking, which I don't know how well I would do actually.
I failed miserably.
In a competitive sense. I think I would just be like a leisure pilot. Like, I'm just going to cruise around these valleys and park and do a little picnic at the top of this mountain here.
Now, as you see with VR Orlando, VR Territory, you see kind of a purpling come up on the screen. If you push down, you also have shields. So not only are you attack, you have defense as well. So you got your life, and then you can defend. As you can see, he's in a battle right now. And
looks like VR Territory has VR World kind of pinned against these cliffs right here, and that makes it really difficult for mobility when you can't move backwards.
It's like you're between a rock and a hard place, Joe.
Oh man, guys, we're gonna be here all.
We're dads. We're dads. We have dad jokes.
Dad jokes for days.
You're welcome. You are welcome, chat.
Dad jokes for days. Yeah, so the shield you just saw right there on the VR World screen on the right that he had his double shields were up and that they got blasted through and that they were dissolved. There's a flash flood warning in North Carolina. We just received a notification if there's any viewers. Oh my goodness, one of our partners, VR Junkies North Carolina, has to reschedule due to inclement weather.
Which
Wow.
is totally understandable.
Yeah, you guys be safe. Don't sweat it. Like, we were with you. Yeah, get to safety. Oh man, that's the worst. And sometimes in Utah we have these crazy rainstorms too. Definitely nothing like what's happening down with hurricane weather down south. Oh man, their location is literally closed. Yeah, so the public, they're going to safety right now. It's not just like their one location. It's the area. Okay, VR Junkies North Carolina.
So,
all right,
prayers
guys.
and thoughts are with you guys, North Carolina. Stay safe, and we'll catch you another day.
Yeah. Fight another day when it's a little bit drier and less.
So it seems like it's more of a preventative measure because there's lots of rain coming in, and they want to make sure people are indoors with the road, so that the roads are going to be, they can navigate the roads before it gets too bad.
Okay.
It's kind of a preemptive measure. So
Smart.
thank you to our producers for letting us know. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone being affected by the terrible,
Crazy weather.
crazy stuff going on in the southeast part of our country. However, we are living in virtual reality world right now with this match. It looks like it's tied up 8-8. You can see the score there on the New York screen. That is your rate screen. Up top, you got your score. It is a race to 10. Now, we do play best 2 out of 3.
Great.
Race to 10 or 20 minutes, whichever comes first.
This match is going pretty quick. Both teams are playing really aggressive.
Lee. Adverb.
Very aggressive. We're just see them chasing each other. There's not much. I'm trying to understand better more like the strategy that they're going into it, but it really is like head-to-head duke it out and see who's going to blast them into oblivion first.
All right, so you can see right now that Orlando territory, he has his automatic weapon on his right shield, and he's got his power weapon on his left hand, moving around, flying around, trying to get the right angles, and it looks like he is rocking the medium
I think it's
mech?
medium because I'm seeing that railgun, which is really an impressive weapon. Ooh, VR World with a kill.
He goes
Tied at 9.
down, gets shot. Yep, tied up at 9.
Behemoth, he's picking the heavy. Okay, now the heavy battle mech. These guys are really interesting. So of course they're sacrificing speed and mobility for
But
brute
it.
strength. That is game.
looked like there was a kill off screen there. Nice job. That was
VR Orlando. Let's double check. We're just making sure we got the right score.
it was 10
New
to
York.
9.
It was VR World that won 10-9. Just had it confirmed. It was backwards on the screen that we had. Okay. Congratulations, VR World. Intense first match for the night.
All right, so that's round 1.
Now
Or
we go to
that's
map
match
2.
1.
Match 1, correct.
And we do best 2 out of 3 matches to get to advance.
Yeah, so match one is in a map called Genesis Facility. Match 2, they'll be going to AgriZone 96. And check this out. This is the loading screen, okay? This is just like your average menu.
Dude, this screen is so cool.
Isn't that dope?
You got mechs all around you. There are people walking around. You got some stuff flying. If you turn around and look, you got like little flying cars. It is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, compared to like every other game menu, whether for PC or for console, this is impressive. Just a sense of scale, an immediate sense of immersion right off the bat. That's one thing I just really love about VR.
All right, so both these teams taking a minute to collect their thoughts, talk about their strategies, what's going on, what they're going to do, and then about this next map. Now, there are some power-ups around the maps. What are those power-ups, Joe?
Well, you'll see that they go and collect energy packs, which refill their energy. And essentially, as their energy runs out, that makes them more vulnerable to their hull being breached and to being killed, basically. So it's important that while you're being aggressive, like you're seeing in the gameplay we just watched, that you actually have time to retreat, or that you can go and regroup, and that you can collect health. It might make for a longer match time, but if it means that you're going to win because you have 20 more health than the next guy. You know, it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. So the energy is there for your power weapons, and it's also there for hovering to take off and fly. So you'll see some hovering, but that's kind of used sparingly so that they can get to those power-up abilities. There are also health packs around, and those, as you can probably guess, because it's rocket science, heal your mech.
Totally. Biomechanics, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're living in the future, folks.
One day we'll live in that future where I just apply some salve to my broken body and I become Superman.
I hear chocolate is actually a good healing factor.
That's what I tell myself every Tuesday evening.
Just Tuesday?
Just Tuesdays.
Okay.
Just once a week, man. You know, balance.
Fun facts about Galahad.
It's important. Chocolate Tuesdays.
All right, and we are live. We are on camera. So you don't want me to drink this water?
Cheers. Yeah.
All right. We are professionals, folks. Again, back here at the desk.
Also, check these out. The Skydance team sent us these sick jackets. Archangel, behold, the beautiful golden logo, as well as our battle patches right here. All right, so who do you got?
I got the USFF, the good guys, the power team.
This is Human X right here. And as you can tell, the quintessential red and black, which is obviously the
Evil.
good guys. Oh, that's the bad guys. Okay. Yes. So we're really happy. They've been really generous with not only with the planning and with sponsoring this event and helping us with the organization and just giving us best tips on making it accessible for all these arcades, but also sweet swag, sending posters out to the participating arcades, and being part of this event.
Yeah, this is really a cool event. And how you got with the VAL, how is it coordinating with people from all over the U.S.?
That's a great question. And for those of you that are new to the stream and new to VAL, VAL is Virtual Athletics League, and we started this league to jumpstart VR arcade-driven esports throughout the world. It's a global league that we're running, and so as part of that process, we looked all over on Steam, in the Oculus Store, on HTC, for Vive, and just like what are the best games out there with the greatest potential for VR esports. We dove into communities online and in Discord. We jumped into what's the response and like receptiveness among players. On the development side, are they pushing it to be more competitive? Are they still putting resources on the game? So we kind of put it through this matrix and criteria to find out like what are the best titles that we could kind of launch our 2018 season with. And so for these guys, we reached out to them and they were just like awesome timing. They've really been putting resources to make it more competitive, grow the community, and it's been beautiful.
Dude, and this is such a cool game. It's such a cool idea. I mean, you have 6 degrees of
Freedom,
ability,
yeah.
of freedom to move. You could go whatever direction you want.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so cool. And who doesn't want to be a Transformer?
Right.
Who doesn't want to be Voltron?
Oh my gosh! I mean, you grow up watching all the cartoons and all the good shows.
Power Rangers,
Voltron. You got Transformers, right? And what's cool is that you can kind of see the evolution of gaming with how Archangel has evolved. For example, mentioned earlier when Archangel first came out, it was on rails. The mech moved on its own. It was automated on this driven path, and then you had bad guys, and you're kind of aiming and shooting.
It was kind of like a duck shooter,
like an arcade shooter, right?
Like an old duck gallery shooter.
Which makes sense from a game, but VR allows more, and so they gave you a lot more, which I think, hats off to these athletes and these gamers that are playing this tonight, because there's just so much to manage.
So much going on. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. It is a lot of brain power and a lot of strategy. I'm interested to see our teams, how they kind of balance themselves, whether they're going to go one heavy, one light, whether they're going to both go mid, both go light, try to stay cloaked, try to flank. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to watch all these different strategies come out and come to play.
From what we could see with VR Territory Orlando and VR World, it seemed like it was a lot of one-on-one action. I'm really curious to see teams kind of double up a little bit, use the map in different opportunities to get some unfair advantages, get some downtime, get that power play action going.
Another really cool thing about the maps is a lot of it is playable.
Yeah.
Like, you shoot a wall and it explodes.
Destructibles, yeah.
Yeah, just so cool.
Yeah. One thing I'm really impressed with, that I think is hard to appreciate.
Is my language ability. You're right, Joe.
Super hard to appreciate is the verticality of this game. So in virtual reality, a lot of people initially they jump into VR and they feel disoriented and they feel maybe even a little bit of motion sickness. In this game, people are flying around and not just staying on one plane, but moving up and down quite a bit. But they've done it in such a way that like you don't feel it. It's really impressive.
All right, speaking of jumping into things, moving up and down, let's get in. Let's watch our athletes here.
AgriZone 96, match 2.
AgriZone 96. Obviously, this map is all about the agriculture, and they are no longer fighting each other. They are battling it out as farmers, trying to grow crops. Whoever grows the most corn at the end of 5 minutes wins, right?
So we have Luke Skywalker versus the Empire,
Yes.
basically is what we're going for. So screen on the right for VR World, you're seeing the mid-class, and you see him adjusting the sliders right there. So you just saw the power slider on the left, and is it the shield slider that was right next to that? But he's just
Yes.
he's trying to get in there for so he can do as much damage as possible. And then the mech on the left, VR Territory Orlando, is the behemoth, the big guy, the heavy.
Now that's the one that can take the most damage. It also can deal the most damage, but it is slow. So you're trading your mobility for
Damage potential.
damage potential. And
right.
You're a tank, right?
You're a tank, absolutely.
If you're
yeah,
looking
that's the way to put it.
at kind of some of the other games, League of Legends, sort of Overwatch, you are more of the tanky when you're the behemoth.
Yes, you can soak up that damage. You can sponge it. Try and open up some opportunities for your other teammate to get in there and get some well-positioned attacks.
Or if you both go heavy, you can be slow together. As we see the Orlando territory go down,
2-0.
so it's 2-0 in favor of New York. New York. We talked to them on the phone. Nice guys.
Friendly.
Yeah. You don't hear that a lot about.
Nestled right under the Empire State Building, I mean.
Alrighty, so looking here, we got some long distance battles. Looks like Orlando's being kind of aggressive, trying to push New York back into kind of the corner. I wish we could go with all 4 perspectives.
It helps understand what's kind of happening all around the map, right?
As looks like we have 2 players go down,
Death.
one from each side.
Death abroad.
Carnage. All right, so quick score update if we can see it. It's 3-2 in favor of New York. That is VR World. VR the world. Sorry,
Yeah, you're good.
Michael Jackson.
I do appreciate the maps on this. So you see that big ship in the back. The maps, they become a little more relatable once you do dive into the single-player game. And interestingly, Archangel Hellfire, the multiplayer PvP, is free. It's free across all the different platforms. At arcades, they have it playing on, Synthesis, VR Junkies, Private Label VR, Springboard.
Pretty much anywhere you can
All
get
of
VR.
those, yeah. And then I know for like consumers, those of you at home, you're able to access it through Steam as well as the Oculus Store for free, which is really impressive. And then there's the paid version, which includes the single-player game.
So you saw right there on the left, he came out, regenerated, respawned, and came back and he knocked out one of the pillars on that bridge, which that's just a cool feature.
Yeah. One thing I really love, you watch the mech here on the left with VR Territory Orlando, and you can see these kind of like red circles down below at the bottom of the screen, right? So when one of the mechs has their ultimate ability powered up and ready to use, you actually have to physically activate it. You have to reach forward and activate this thing.
Yeah, so the special abilities that the Behemoth has, he has an EMP blast, which gets shot out, and then it's kind of like a poison, if you will, for these mechs, and it does damage over time. And then, what's the other one, Joe?
My favorite is the light class, in that they do this really cool. I mean, if you're an Overwatch player, it's kind of like Pharah, just like Justice, death from the sky. These awesome, just like rocket, tons of rockets just launch out of that mech.
High noon. No, just kidding.
Justice from above.
So yeah, they're just some really cool abilities. Just a lot of really innovative thought going into this game. Now you see here on the left, he was hanging out, waiting, getting some energy back, trying to wait for his partner in crime, who is under attack in a big one-on-one battle.
Mech on the right really using his railgun to good effect. He's getting some super clean shots. The one he's attacking right now, you're not seeing a lot of shield action happen on that side.
No, and that's one thing that you can watch, and the difference between the two screens that we have. The one on the right, the New York screen, has been using their shields a lot more than the ones on the left.
Can you see this effect that as your hull becomes more and more damaged, the screen, like the windshield, basically is becoming more and more cracked?
And it gets harder to see.
Makes it harder to see, right? So you get this environmental effect that impacts your ability and your performance. Really impressive.
It's a lot of fun. Just nice job to the creators of this game. Did we...
we're checking the stream just to make sure things are not interrupted. Might just be...
All right. This is live production. Technical difficulties do tend to happen at some point.
Maybe it was that EMP blast just went off.
Could have been.
You know, and everything's frozen at that point, right?
And not only does it look good, like this game just looks good. It sounds good too.
Yes. Yeah, the audio design in VR is particularly important. So we really encourage players to have quality headphones as they're playing, so they can hear enemies coming from behind. They came from behind, right? Like it makes a huge difference.
Behind.
It absolutely makes a big difference.
All right, so we're seeing. Looks like the stream on the right froze, which is fine, but they're still going.
Gameplay's still going, yeah.
And we can see that gameplay here on the left through VR Territory Orlando. We see lots of good battling going on. Trying to clam up using the double shields.
Currently, New York is up 8-6. VR World's up 8-6. Another close match.
So you guys out there in Twitch land, how do we sound first and foremost?
How do we look? Handsome or not?
Don't answer that. But more importantly, who do you think's gonna win? Who are you guys cheering for? What do you guys like to see? Do you want Orlando to advance? You want New York?
It's always fun to see an underdog, right?
Who is the underdog?
I mean, we have New York ahead right now. We have VR Worlds kind of ahead 1-0, and they're winning 8-6 from the last that we can see. So it'd be interesting to see it go a third match and go to the third map. What's the third map called again?
The third map. There are 5 total maps.
Match 3 we're having it played. If your VR Territory Orlando wins, it'll be at Sanctuary Aftermath. So each match is played at on a different map. As far as game mode goes, all weapons are available. You can choose from any of the different mech classes, and the power-ups are also free to use. So there is no tournament limitations placed on as far as those things go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Good information.
Knowledge is power, my friend.
All right, and we will be coming back live on camera here. So we will move our things from the desk so it looks clean. All right, and welcome back to the caster desk. And we did get the end of that second match, correct? Did things fall through, or did it play out good? Okay, so New York won 2-0. New York,
World.
Congratulations, VR World. You guys are moving on. Orlando, thank you so much for playing. Thank you for participating. We will have more events, more tournaments upcoming for you guys to participate in. And yeah, just awesome.
Hats off to VR World New York City and VR Territory Orlando. This is a single elimination bracket, so VR World New York will be continuing. Orlando, we bid thee adieu. Next time, we think.
Speaking of next time,
Yes.
What other events do we have coming up, Joe?
Goodness gracious! So for 2018, we have a full loaded season. So This is October. End of this month, we'll be having a global high score tournament for Arizona Sunshine and Island 359. It's a double feature, so you can go to any of the participating arcades around you you submit your name and you can win prizes. We have hardware prizes like HTC Vive Pro, as well as the wireless accessories available for top winning players. Also cash prizes. We'll be announcing more of that stuff. We have Quiver coming up. We have After H and Skyfront in the pipeline. After H is kind of I really like it because it's Halo is like near and dear to my heart as a gamer, and
as
After
it is
H,
mine.
Yeah, and After H is very much like a Halo-style tactical team-based shooter.
It's a really fun game. I know we ran an event before. It was the first After H event in North America.
Correct. Yeah.
Hosted here. We had a few arcades, and we just kind of did some scrimmages. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of potential.
And I'm excited to see the growth because it was just barely in beta at the time. So I'm excited to see the advances, and the changes, and how that game's growing.
And what we're seeing tonight with Archangel is you're seeing 2-on-2 player action. Even though we're only showing one screen from each team, it is a 2v2 player game. With After H, it can go up to 8v8, which I can't even imagine, like 16-player chaos.
That game is nuts.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun, but it's just
So as you can imagine, a title like that, it becomes much more challenging to run a tournament if all the players were playing from home, for example. And that's why we're really encouraging players that love the games at home, like, get out there and get to your arcade, build up your local team.
Be social.
Be social and win some prizes. Like, really, now is such a great time to get in on the VR Arcade esports action, and like anyone could be a professional. You know, I could even be a professional, and I'm not, that great a gamer. I'm competitive,
I could be
but I'm
happy.
not that great, right? Yeah.
Name that movie.
Annie?
No.
You just gonna leave me hanging like that?
We'll see what they say in the chat world.
After Skyfront, this one's pretty wild as well.
That's another full 6 degrees of motion, flying around, battling. That's another really cool game.
Yeah, so you're literally think like Spider-Man with guns, right? Where you got really cool structures floating. You're there is no ground for you to really run on. You're slingshotting yourself around the space.
It's more just falling with style.
There we go. I know that movie. That one's Monsters Inc. Yeah. You thought I had it, didn't you? Yeah. The tournament that we're also pushing for come New Year, when everyone's buying their gym passes so that they can really work out for like 4 days through the whole year of 2019, right? Is VR fitness. So the Virtual Athletics League, we're partnering with the VR Health Institute, which is getting. So imagine us playing one of these games and that they strapped biometric sensors to us, like your Fitbit, and getting our heart rate, getting all these different metrics
Getting
down.
all those vitals, getting all that information, so that it feeds back that as you're playing,
Correct.
you have your goals set, your calories you want to burn, your heart rate where you want to be at, how long you're playing.
Yep.
It's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff for us as league operators because we love games, but we see the potential for VR esports having much more than of course, entertainment value, high entertainment value, but also like that high physical kind of athleticism is being built into more and more of these games as well, where if you have a better vertical, you're going to be a better player in some of these different VR esports.
Yeah, if you're willing to get down and roll, as we saw during the last tournament,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
then you're going to get down and roll and you're going to live longer.
VR athletes, they're going to start stretching their hamstrings, doing their calisthenics. Get those lunges in before you start playing.
Proper warm-ups.
Yes, make sure those athletes are signing those waivers in case they pull a hammy. You don't want to get, in any hot water.
Nope.
Bad. Yeah.
All right. So, big full slate of stuff going on
Right.
for the Virtual Athletics League.
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Season 2, looking good.
Season 2 in preparation, yeah. So it takes it takes quite a bit of work just working with the different developers and publishers to make sure that our objectives and goals are well aligned and that we understand what success means to them. As well as kind of the marketing preparation for any given tournament is a significant effort for us and for the arcades especially. And God bless those arcades. Like, they just have so much stress dealing with people coming in on a day-by-day basis, trying to plan events, keep the lights on, as well as kind of getting into these VR esports, scenario.
Exactly. So we want to thank those arcades participating. We especially want to thank the 2 that we already saw. We want to thank everyone else, and we also want to thank our sponsors.
Yes.
Who are our sponsors for this event?
Thank you for mentioning this. So HP and HTC are our core sponsors, and we're so grateful for them. Look at this beautiful Omen X right here that we have on our desk. Oh, it is glorious. Yeah. If you ever get a chance to just throw this on, especially for virtual reality, they have these really cool Omen X backpacks that you can, your VR headset plugs into these, and then all of a sudden you're not tethered to like
You're
a
no
static
longer bound
location.
in one location. Yeah, you can go wherever.
Yeah, walk around, move around. Mm-hmm.
Just think of when Pokemon becomes mixed reality. You're welcome, Nintendo.
You call it Pokemon
Really
Get Out
go.
of Here or something, or Pokemon.
Really go.
Yeah, really go. I think that's what it will be called.
Go.
Trademark that, man. Yeah, right.
TM.
Now. Get that domain, right now, and just sit on that for like $20,000. Who are those guys anyway, right? Anyway, take some business savvy there. So, in HTC, we send our love to you and the HTC esports team. HTC has very, very generously provided awesome prizes for this season. We have HTC Vive Pro headsets, which are just incredible. Like, I used to not really like wearing the Vive, but the Vive Pro is a million times more comfortable. The resolution is really crisp. It has the integrated audio. Overall, it's a much lighter headset and well balanced for like odd-shaped heads like mine. I really, really like the Vive Pro.
Yeah, it's just, it's, 2.0. It's just better.
Yeah. Seeing the steady growth of VR hardware just within the last 5 years has been really impressive. But not to forget, last sponsors that Val, these tournaments are also co-hosted by Springboard VR and by Live. So Live, they're the team working behind the scenes on the software managing our mixed reality so that you can see players, you can see casters like us, that you can see kind of the virtual reality action in action, I might add, right? And Springboard, these guys, they put out an awesome platform, arcade management software platform for arcades. So if I'm an arcade owner, we have this fine gentleman that comes into my fine establishment one day,
hello.
Right? And how do I give him access to games? Well, a lot of arcades, they access their games via Steam, and as we all know, Steam is just like the best designed interface in the world, right? Not right. So guys like Springboard, Synthesis, VR Junkies, Private Label, they've created more of an all-in-one solution to make it really easy for you to jump into your game and to even switch games, for example. And then those minutes, they get reported back to me as a game developer. And so VR arcades then share, it's like a revenue share then with the game developers to have access to those titles through their commercial licenses.
Yeah, which
interesting business model.
It's really kind of cool, really fun.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful that they are involved in helping out with these events.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more helper, isn't there?
One more helper. Guys, I really need to just tell you thank you. First of all, for Jakubescu, for Dan, for Sean, for
The League Esports?
and for the league. Oh, no, I was thinking your third team member.
Durand?
Durand, yeah. I keep wanting to call him Durand with a T, but it's Durand.
Hero Walrus?
Hero Walrus at the League Esports. So the League Esports. So I'll give an intro, okay, as a good friend, and then you give a better intro.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So the League Esports, these guys specialize in esports events. And so they're fantastic casters. They put on multiple events for PC, console, as well as VR based esports now. And they're also involved in some really cool kind of charity type work coming up soon. Tell us more about what you guys do.
Yeah, so we at the League Esports, you're welcome. If we could zoom, I would say zoom.
Enhance the image. Yeah.
We run online gaming rec leagues and tournaments. We actually have one of our leagues going on tonight. as well.
What are they playing?
So we're doing Rocket League tonight, 3v3s.
Okay.
We are launching next week Rocket League 2v2 League.
Oh my.
On Wednesday nights. On Tuesdays we have Fortnite. We do occasional Halo events. But one event that we are really excited about and really passionate about is we are putting on a big multi-platform event for Extra Life. It's a charity event where it benefits the Miracle Children's Network hospitals. For us here in Salt Lake City, that is Primary Children's Hospital. Right now we have over 20 different companies, organizations, groups that are involved with this event. We're going to be having a bunch of different esport tournaments. We're going to have a Magic the Gathering tournament.
This is a 24-hour event,
right? It's a 24-hour
straight. Okay. Yeah.
24 hours straight. We're going to have Madden, FIFA, Halo, Rocket League, League of Legends. We're having a League of Legends Invitational where some of the major colleges around here are going to be playing. But what I'm really excited for is we're going to have some kids that have been treated at Primary Children's or are currently being treated there. They're going to come to our event. They're going to team up. They're going to play some Smash Brothers. They're going to play some Mario Kart.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting some videos made about these kids, so it'll be more real. We're also having a silent auction. So if you're in Salt Lake City or Utah County, Salt Lake County, Davis County, come down, come check it out, and check out these prizes and things that are being donated so that we can raise more money for these kids.
And if they're not in the area, is there another way for our viewers to participate?
Absolutely. You can watch the whole 24 hours straight stream. It's going to be on twitch.tv/The League Esports.
The League Esports.
You guys are going to be there too.
Yes,
we're going to have a VR room.
Yeah, we're excited. And it's a first-time opportunity for us to really participate in an event like this.
It's our first time running an event like this
first for everybody.
Here.
Yeah.
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hoping that this can be a really big event. This is our first year doing it, and we're hoping to make it good, successful, and grow.
Yeah.
And really, we just want to help these kids. As a father of 2 kids, you have 3?
4.
That's right. You just had your 4th.
Guys, we're building our own soccer teams. All right, like that's what we're going for.
Like, no parent ever wants to see their child get hurt. No parent ever wants to see their children suffer. And these kids are going through so many horrible things. And we just want to help them out as any way we can. Just make them feel like heroes, make them feel proud. So we got lots of cool stuff coming up with us here at the League Esports, with the Virtual Athletics League. We're tied in with you guys, helping out. And I'm so excited about the future of the VAL, of TLE, and just
esports
everything in general.
Yeah, and the magic of esports becoming more and more mainstream is opportunities like this, like with Next Life, right?
Extra
Life. Thank you, not Next Life. That's
Life is a different discussion.
Please excuse me. Yes. Esports, it's been really fascinating to watch because for a long time I considered myself, I guess, like a hobbyist as a gamer, right? Like I'd play Halo with my buddies on the weekend, not like any competitive circuit by any means, but it was just something that was kind of more of like a niche audience that just me and a couple of friends did. But just really watching the growth of the esports community in general across console, PC, and now into VR, it's made me feel part of a larger global community that just has more common interests, outside of our political, geographical, grammatical differences, and
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about Extra Life, about the Virtual Athletics League, about the League Esports, where can they go to find those answers?
A good place to go is our Discord channel. Go to valvr.com, and that has a direct invitation link to our Discord server.
Or you could go to the League Esports if you want to find out more about rec leagues.
Love it.
And instead of kind of like what we're doing here at tournament, what we have over at the League Esports, we run a full season, and then at the end a tournament.
Beautiful.
So based on the way you play in the regular season,
right,
is your seeding for the tournament.
Oh, dig it. Okay, that's great.
So
it's like what we do, but more professional, perhaps. I'm just playing. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep stats. We do play-by-play. We want to give the amateur gamer a pro experience.
That's tight.
And
is that a tagline? That has to be a tagline.
It is.
We want to give amateur players a pro experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Because there are a lot of people out there that are not going to be pro, and it looks like we're getting into our next game. Nope, just kidding.
Little warm-up round
This
right
is a
now.
little practice. So, thank you for letting us talk about that. But let's get back to the task at hand. We got our second match coming up, and we have two awesome teams. Who do we have?
So we know that VR Junkies North Carolina is out for the night. So we have two players from Virtualities in Salt Lake City that you see on screen right now. We're getting a note right now from a producer on the next two teams.
So this is a practice match?
1v1, or do we have another team in there right now? 2v2? Okay, and who's the other team playing right now? Does the other producer? Gotcha. Okay, one of the other two teams.
All right, so this is going to be a practice match.
Oh, hold on a second. I think we do have the calendar.
I believe we have Virtualities playing in this one. Where's Virtualities from?
Pandora? No. Yes.
These guys with a rando. Okay.
Oh, from online. All right. That's cool. I forgot you can do that in VR.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have one of our teams that's going to be playing in one of the competitive matches, playing right now. This is Virtualities. Where are they from, Joe?
This is the home team here in Salt Lake City.
Home team in Salt Lake City. Who are our players?
So we have Jesse and DeMonte. DeMonte, fun fact, so he participated in our most recent Space Pirate Trainer Global High Score Tournament and placed third. Won himself some nice prizes for that.
Yeah, he did. And he was fun to watch.
Burned some calories. Athletic
Burned
dude.
a lot of calories.
The guy likes to move around, so you give him more play space and he will just like work it.
He will take all the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed it. It was a lot of fun. So we got DeMonte and Jesse. Those are our two boys here. But talk to us about Virtualities, Joe.
Virtualities. So Virtualities was founded 2 years ago by Ryan Birmingham. It's a really interesting story because before I met him, he started by buying a bunch of Samsung Gear VR headsets. If you haven't done that, those are like you put the Samsung Galaxy phones directly into this headset and you can have VR experiences. So he started going to city festivals and like concerts and just like art in the park type things, and he would charge people $5 for 15 minutes, to watch this, to experience VR. And soon he saw that 15, 20 people were in line, and he thought this is a real thing, people will pay for this, and so he decided to open up shop, actually have a physical location, and that's how Virtualities was born, as a VR arcade location here in Salt Lake.
Now, I was actually talking with one of the staff members here earlier today, and he was telling me about a couple that comes here for dates, and they jump into Google Maps.
Oh, do they? Okay. Yeah, there's a Google. There's a
Google Earth.
There's
Excuse
a
me,
Google
Google
experience,
Earth.
Yeah.
And then they just travel the world.
That's so awesome.
As a date night, they travel the world.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Yeah.
Like, where do you want to go? Let's go to Rome. And then they walk around Rome.
I could totally see that. I mean, like, I've never really thought of VR as a date night opportunity, but a lot of people kind of, from the outside, it's easy to be critical of VR as this kind of antisocial type experience where you're isolated from those around you, but you really do see people getting more and more creative with different ways to explore together in VR, whether you're gaming, blowing up mechs, or exploring Rome, for example. We have heard fun stories of like people getting engaged in VR. So they don't. They're proposing. So one experience, for example, is they talked to the game developer for a specialty item like a wedding ring, right? And then in game, they were able to propose and pop a wedding ring to their fiance and propose from that. Yeah,
that's a story that's
next level right there. Yeah. So one fun detail about Virtualities in Salt Lake is. And VR kids in general is that they have to get really creative with how they make money and how they get guests continually coming in, like a theme park, right? So you have guests that just kind of casually walk in if you're in a high foot traffic area like a shopping mall or a strip mall or just a really great kind of retail location. But other times, to Virtualities, hats off to them, is that these guys pull in a lot of business from corporate parties, actually, and birthday parties. So. I know like a team from Netflix has come through, Amazon, the New York Knicks when they were in town playing the Utah Jazz. that they came and stopped here to actually come have a fun night on the town. Some guys didn't want to play VR; they just wanted to play FIFA like all night. They didn't want to play NBA 2K or anything. They're just
Dude, FIFA's fun.
yeah, FIFA's a blast.
I've really been getting into Madden and FIFA. It's been a few years since I played those.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on them.
Yeah, those are tough games, man.
All right. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. So that was a practice match. That's why we didn't really focus on it. And
Not that they weren't doing anything,
Right.
interesting.
But we want to welcome you back here to the caster desk. I am Maverick. This is my co-pilot Goose. He will die. Hashtag foreshadowing. So looks like we are getting set up now for our next match. That'll be Virtualities versus who are they going to be playing? Let me see here.
It'll be Pandora's
looks like
Box.
it's Pandora's Box in Midland,
Box.
Texas. So they started end of 2017 is when this VR arcade was founded.
Oh wow. Okay.
Shay Sitz is
What up,
the guy
Shay?
who put it together.
Yes.
Their new VR arcade in Midland, with its official grand opening on Saturday.
Hold on a second.
Hang on,
No.
hang on.
Yeah, that was something they pulled off maybe the Google
Probably.
search is what it was. Yeah.
Probably
Review.
false information.
Review.
Anyway, they're in Midland, Texas.
Pandora's Box VR Midland, Texas. My son had a blast. It was amazing. Daughter didn't want it to be over. It was so much fun. Those are the kind of things that you want to hear. And showing kids how to have fun in VR is a lot of fun. And kids actually it's a very intuitive medium for kids, surprisingly. Like showing VR to grown adults, even just like grown men. Sometimes it's
hard.
It's hard to just like
hard.
adapt to the different button schemes or how you manage locomotion. But kids actually, like when you give a kid a controller and they're playing, not Grand Theft Auto because you're a good parent, but you're letting them play Mario Kart, right? For
Absolutely.
the first time. And when they move the car, they're actually moving their body with the controller, right? That's a natural tendency when people
Or when
are
my wife
getting into the
plays.
gaming. There you go, right? But people in
not
VR,
watching.
those skills translate quite well. So don't tell your kid not to move his body when he's playing Mario Kart. Encourage the behavior.
No.
Okay.
Tell them not to do it while playing Mario Kart. Then tell them to go play VR.
What about Mario Kart VR?
Nintendo, get on it.
It's a thing in Shinjuku, Japan, and I heard.
God bless you.
I heard it's coming to the west. Oh man, that sounds amazing. They'll actually give you real bananas, and I'm just kidding, but
What about the horny shell?
oh please don't even. Don't even.
Oh man,
I'm not gonna go down that road.
so good.
Yes.
All right, so we are getting ready. We got our team in Salt Lake City. Looks like they're
Let's see if we can get a video
Getting
feed
prepped.
from Pandora's Box, so we can have one from Virtualities and Midland, Texas as well. Not
all
today.
right.
Okay.
So
got
we're
it.
gonna
Yeah.
be able to see both views here in Salt Lake City. You're gonna get to see this team, how they work their strategies.
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are gonna be jumping into game here in just a moment.
Match
And,
one, Genesis facility.
That's the facility that started it all.
Like the Origins, like the Genesis?
Uh-huh.
I think so. Yeah. That's probably why it was named Genesis Facility. If I was in charge of
magic.
naming things, I think that'd be a very fitting name for like the first facility.
Yeah.
Or Facility 1, I think could do the trick too in a pinch.
In a pinch.
In a pinch.
In a pinch. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that's super cool about this game is you talk with each other, but when you set up your private lobby, it gives you a special code. That way you can make sure you are the only ones
It is
in
private.
that game, and it is private.
Yeah, so keys to victory for this game. What are the keys to victory from your observations?
Obviously, it's got to be teamwork. The most advantageous is going to be a 2v1.
Yeah.
So if you can take down one of your opponents, then you immediately both have to attack the second.
Yeah.
Now, as far as strategy of mechs, that depends on your style of play. Personally, I've always been more of a tanky kind of a
There
guy.
you go, yeah.
That's because I'm fat.
Big bone, big bone. Yeah.
But
Broad
no,
shoulders.
I've always just enjoyed that kind of
Yeah.
tanky role.
Love it, yeah.
So, and that's also how I am in real life. I've always been that slower, stronger kind of guy.
Gotta run you over, right?
fun fact for you folks out there, 15 years ago, Joe and I were actually
Holy
in college
smokes.
together.
Yeah, freshman year, Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah.
And
2003.
yeah, I was the quarterback of our
Flag football team.
dorm flag football team, and Joe was the running back. And I would lumber, and Joe was quick and flash like
Quick and nimble.
like lightning.
Yeah, like lightning. Lo and behold, 15 years later, we're on Discord, and we've been chatting for, like 2 months? And then we
Ish.
actually met in person, like 2.5 months after we started our first initial conversations online. It was like, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. We went to school together, right?
What?
Yeah, it's fun. Blast from the past. And look, now we're casting together. See, the universe makes sense sometimes.
It's
guys.
magic.
Yeah.
All right, so we're experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, working our way through them.
And bring the camera back in here to the casting desk.
So welcome back again. I am Jakobescu, aka Danny J. This is Goose McFarland. He will die. No, he won't. This is Sir Galahad, aka Joe.
Well, Joe, a.k.a. Galahad.
No,
Okay, other way around. I can roll with that.
we can aka. So it looks like the players are trying to figure out who needs to be on which team, so that way they can communicate together. We have Midland, Texas on the phone in the background. We're working our way through this, so thank you for sticking with us.
We were talking about keys to victory, and you mentioned get that double team as often as possible. I really feel like using the map to your advantage in your positioning is a huge deal. So we see a lot of these teams being ultra aggressive. I'd love to see some more sneaky play if possible, or some scouting if possible.
Yeah, maybe getting one of the light mechs, using that cloaking ability, sneaking around back behind.
Yeah.
Maybe have the big mech, the tank, kind of distract, take some fire, and all of a sudden, pew pew pew.
We also know that there's some really good like sniping positions for the mid-class tanks or the mid-class mechs. They can use their railgun from distance. Accuracy is actually really good on a lot of these weapons across distance. A lot of games accuracy kind of like a shotgun. It just spreads out over time. No dancing allowed from our producer. Great. We're doing the shimmy shimmy. I do the shimmy.
Sometimes you gotta shim.
And sometimes you gotta shim.
You
So
gotta
yeah,
do what you gotta do.
sniping positions are interesting. I'd love to see some more action like that. Right now it's very, very in your face. I'm gonna shoot you, you're gonna shoot me back, and whoever's shield goes out first will probably die.
Probably.
Yeah.
I also think the teams that have practiced together a little bit more, they're going to know the placement of those power-ups, of the shields,
Great
of the
point.
energy. And I think controlling those are essential
Yeah.
to winning. Coordinating with your team, hey, I'm going over to this health boot pack, I'm down 50%,
Yeah.
Watch my back. Or, hey, let's go get this energy. We got one guy down, but the other one ran away because he's a scaredy cat.
Yeah, that's great. It's been
And that's how team communication goes, just cool, calm, and collected like that.
voice is so important, and it's been fun watching kind of the development of voice technology over the last few years, like when everyone was using TeamSpeak, for example, and then Discord came along and disrupted a whole lot of businesses, and then in VR now, developers integrating that directly into the local client itself, just to make things easy breezy for the teams.
Easy breezy lemon squeezy.
Cucumber cool.
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
All right, so looks like we got the match set and ready. The teams are
Looks like our
all on
teams
the
are
right team.
loading in. So we are going to be playing map number 1, which is not the farm.
Genesis facility,
Genesis
remember?
facility, because it's the
Origin,
beginning.
beginning facility.
Yeah.
Genesis, yes, makes sense. Yeah.
Bad dad jokes galore.
Not enough, actually. Do you know what you get when you mix a mech droid and a tractor?
I don't.
A transformer. Not bad.
On a scale of 1 to 10, people, where does that rank? 10 being the ultimate dad joke, 1 being a real good joke.
Do they have to be such opposite ends? You know.
I think they do. I think they do.
Oh man. Okay, I'll see if I can bust out a few more of those as we go on tonight.
Oh,
See,
golly.
the things you do to prepare for a stream, you know.
All right, so Now, just to go over the rules of this match again, we got 3 rounds in the match.
Correct. Best of 3.
Best 2 out of 3 advances.
Correct.
You have to get 10 kills or
25 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes is what
20
we changed it to. Okay, got it. 20 minutes. You'll need 25. 20 minutes.
Most matches don't make it to the time limit, but speaking of time limit, how we doing?
We're doing great on time.
Why do I feel so tired?
The first match was really, I mean, it was neck and neck, but it went pretty quick.
Yeah.
The type of gameplay we saw between
VR World?
VR World in New York as well as VR Territory Orlando, it just lent itself to really snappy, quick gameplay, quick kills, and quick respawns. Some of these matches, I'm really curious to see they can drag them out if they want, if they see it to their advantage to take a little more time, to be a little more strategic in getting better positioning or retreating a little bit to get those health packs. They have plenty of time to go that direction if they so choose.
That one of the really cool things, like we were talking about earlier, is the verticality, the ability to level change. And there are some parts of the map where it's really wide open.
Yeah.
And you have some guns like the rail gun that can shoot long distances just as powerfully as if, bang.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Really powerful, regardless of distance.
But there's also a lot of places where you get down into these narrow canyons and gullies and valleys where movement's kind of restricted, but you have cover. You can. It's twisting and turning and just really well done on these maps. I'm really liking everything I'm seeing in this game.
A lot of variety. Typical PvP maps, you'll see kind of like same spawn point, mirrored level, like exact design, for that. And we're definitely seeing a lot of different opportunities for these teams to take advantage of their environment.
Why wait? Are we sponsored by? Are we sponsored?
Gatorade and Snickers, These are our wish list sponsors for the night. Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. So this is interesting. So we're looking. If you look at the screen on the right, is that on the screen?
Are we still on us?
That? Okay, cool. This is I'm glad we're kind of paused right here because we're looking at one of the mechs right now and get to read this is the light mech right here, and this is the Banish is what they're called. And so you see the weapons on the left, the Thrasher, AMG, Mac, really long gun name. I can't see because it's white out right there. The Slam Shot, Anti-Shield Rocket, and the Hellswarm Missile Battery. So these are all the different specialty weapons. And then on the right, you can see kind of the stats: strength, armor, and speed. And so you see how speed is way ramped up for the light class mech. What's up?
We need to refresh.
On this dude? Beautiful thing.
Technology, people, this is live. You're welcome.
That's why they pay us the big bucks.
We're getting paid?
We're Snickers and Gatorade, man.
There it is. And pizza.
It's the little things in life.
So, while we're waiting for this to refresh, I hear them talking over there. Hear our competitors talking.
Oh, that's what's going on their end. All right, real world technology right now. One of their Vive controllers here at Virtualities. The battery is low, so we're doing a hot swap right now.
That's the technical term, hot swap.
Mm-hmm.
So they can see this. Okay. All right, so we're looking at Jesse, who's still moving. DeMonte has been sabotaged somehow by Midland, Texas. Well played.
Mech hackers. There we go. Looks like we got an eye in the sky from DeMonte.
All right. Looks like DeMonte's coming back in. All right. So Jesse looks like he's going to be the big guy, the tank, trying to...
Behemoth class mech.
Yes, that is what you can say if you wanted to. All right, so Jesse's going to try to be taking care of their fire, taking their attention. And it looks like DeMonte's going with the light class. He's going to be quick, nimble, fast. And he's good. He's accurate.
You know, times like this, it reminds me of NASCAR. Little pit crew action right here. Run out of gas, need some new tires. It's part of the game, guys. You just saw a live swap. You don't even know it, but behind the scenes, DeMonte just had a live swap.
There were 4 or 5 people running around this joint.
You couldn't hear because of the acoustics equipment, but there were drills and boo, boo, boo happening in the background there as they're swapping.
What
out.
happening?
Boo, boo, boo. That's pretty good.
Just want to make sure I understood.
I've watched a lot of Cars. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Lightning McQueen in Cars.
I like the third one. That's solid.
I like it too.
Number 2? Eh.
2, it didn't really happen.
Eh.
Yeah.
But 3? 3's a good one.
Legit. I mean, in life, one day you're gonna get old. One day you're just not gonna be a great VR arcade esports player anymore, and you're gonna see the new young guys just kicking your butt. What are you gonna do?
Number 3 kind of reminded me of the movie Balboa. Rocky
Rocky.
Balboa. Rocky 6.
Speaking of which, Creed 2 coming out.
Very excited.
There's a new VR title, Creed 2, that just came out from Survios. The film, I think it's coming out in November, close to Thanksgiving time. The game's already out. If you haven't checked it out, really, really recommend it. There's a fun kind of, like Wii boxing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just get annihilated by people that would just swing crazy swings, and they have like no coordination, right? But in this game, there's actually a really cool mechanic where you have to, like a stamina gauge, so you can punch, but then you're also required to kind of sit back and block shots, accurately.
All right, so it looks like just score update is 5-4 in favor of Virtualities here. DeMonte's flying around.
9-4.
9-4. Just
Update
kidding.
that score, ladies and gentlemen.
Handwriting is bad.
And then DeMonte got 4 kills as soon as his controller came back on. Sounds like.
Well, the kid's a madman. All right, so looking here, we got Jesse. He's flying around, shooting off his machine gun, throwing up his shields, trying to get some attention on him. DeMonte flipping those channels. He gets behind the player, gets behind the enemy. That's how you get extra damage. You sneak around behind or you go for the head. And he's done. Looks like DeMonte passed. However, they got the win, 10-5 here in our first match. So match number 2, we are going to be moving on to
AgriZone 96.
AgriZone 96. Fun fact about AgriZone 96, it was actually founded in the year 2296. It's what once was Wyoming. I really hope the people who made this game are watching and taking this, and it's going to become canon. That would be really cool.
Content is king, and story is the best, right? So what used to be Wyoming, AgriZone 96, and what are they growing? Agricultural things.
Absolutely.
They're agro-growing it.
Yep. Full of GMOs and healthy things.
Healthy things like Snicker bars.
All right, so we're moving to AgriZone. They are getting this match set up. Are we still in stream or are we at caster desk? Okay. All right, so
so despite an intense technical moment there with DeMonte's controller going out, they're still able to come out with a win, 10-5.
Nice job. They got some practice.
That was like 90 seconds flat right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, if you guys watched our last stream, the last global tournament, that one was Space Pirate Trainer, which is kind of like Space Invaders in VR.
Yes.
And you guys got to see Ryan owner of Virtualities. Kind of looks like a hobbit. He was running around here. He really does have hairy feet that are padded, so he didn't make a noise because he was running, getting new batteries. It was crazy. He is a hobbit. I'm pretty sure he lives in the Shire.
I cannot verify the foot detail, but I can verify the hustling detail of making sure the arcade was running smooth. Global high score tournaments are another beast. So whereas today we have a limited number of arcades participating that we're communicating live with for this live feed, global streams, it is like a 5-day period or sometimes a 2-day period or 24-hour period where we open up the floodgates in any arcade literally in the world that the US does not have political sanctions against, for example, that they can participate in.
Wait, really?
Well, it's a fine detail, you know. We had an arcade from Iran play recently, and we were wondering, what is the status of our ability? Well, as long as they're not paying us money, and we don't have to, like, tax them in weird ways, I think they're okay, but we're still looking at the fine print, just to make sure we don't go to jail or something. But we love all of our arcades. I mean, just knowing that these arcades coming in from Australia, we had, even in Africa, we had arcades from Egypt, New Zealand, we had all over Europe, all over South America, especially in Brazil. Brazil has like a really growing VR scene. One arcade there during the Beat Saber tournament, they brought in like 150 people in one night just to play Beat Saber.
Even some of our neighbors from the north, eh?
Oh yeah, plenty of
Plenty
our friends from the
of the
north.
Canadians there playing the game, eh?
Oh yes. In fact, some of the largest VR arcade chains in Canada are happy partners with us and participants in our tournaments, and we love the fact that it's just such a global kind of scene that we're able to do this.
Yeah.
It poses some unique challenges, of course, but VR is all about not being tied to a specific destination. Imagine one day you want to go to work. Well, guess what? You don't have to work in the Bay Area if you want to work in technology. You can work from anywhere. VR technologies kind of make a future like that possible.
And that's what VR arcades up in Canada they're talking about.
All day long. Oh, man. All right, yeah.
That's good.
What do we have going on right now? Okay, so they're in their second match already, and they're in AgriZone 96. Looks like a snowy day in what used to be Wyoming in the year 2296.
Yeah, it was founded by Daniel McAgro. Yeah.
And his brother Eli.
Obviously.
Right.
Yep. Eli was a little more combative of the two. And
is this where the Transformers started?
This is where the Transformers started. Yes, because they had a disagreement over a parcel of land.
Yeah.
And here it is. This is what results. These are actually two families,
I guess
like
you
the
could
McCoys
say,
and the Hatfields.
I guess you could say one of the brothers was pushing the other brother's buttons over their Transformer dispute. And they decided to do something about it.
I'm so glad we can't see the Twitch chat. All right, so looking here at our two players here in Salt Lake, making some adjustments to the mech over there is the Monte. And looks like Jesse goes down. He got flanked 2v1, so DeMonte is going to have to play really carefully. You see him reach up. He switches up his speed so he can run away, go pick up that health pack. Now he flips his speed back down. It's instinctive the way he's moving.
It's like he's pod racing in this thing.
You remember that game?
Oh man, Pod Racing 64 was my jam.
I can't tell you how many hours playing that game.
Wasted, I mean, that's a subjective term right there, right? Yeah, I would say invested time in my optic nerves, quick reflexes. Definitely benefiting now in my adulthood. Man, these guys are cruising.
Flying around.
So this is really cool. You see one guy on the ground, and then you see his teammate at a different vantage point, kind of shouting out locations for the enemy. It's a good example of team communication where one is kind of playing scout and the other is little assassin.
Stab, stab.
Stabby, stab, stab. Oh man, those graphics are so cool. Looking at that like plasma right there.
All right. So one really fun technique, strategy, is when to deploy your shield. Because you can deploy it on the left so you can still shoot it on the right, but you're still vulnerable on the right side. Or you can pull it up on the right. You can pull it both, but then you can't attack. So knowing when to deploy your shield, when to attack, those sorts of strategies, how to move, how to fly, those are all very valuable strategies. And you gotta take all of those into account. What the crap? Is that buzz?
Yeah, it looks like.
Alright, so we're still watching our players going around. You saw DeMonte go back and pick up that health pack again. Knowing where it is, how to get there, that is key. Controlling the power-ups, just like any other game in which there are power-ups, that is essential, crucial to victory.
So I just saw one of the players. He flipped this switch on a slider above his head. Give us a quick refresher on what we have as far as customization within your mech.
So you have the 3 different classes of mech: heavy, middle, light.
Great.
Right? Heavy damage, heavy defense, slow movement, slow energy.
Great.
Medium, your average everything.
Nice and balanced.
Light, you're real quick, you can do some damage, but you are more quick and stealthy.
Kind of like margarine. Light. Quick and not stealthy though. Bad example.
Yeah.
Keep going. So within each mech, when you look
and then
up,
you have 4 different customized levers above your head.
Okay.
You have attack, you have your shield, your energy, and you have your speed.
So in what scenarios do you see me wanting to boost my damage, for example?
If it's a 2v1,
Yeah.
you can boost your damage. Or if one of your opponents is focused on your partner and you sneak around behind, you can get some power shots into their brains. Right between the ears.
Right between the ears, yeah. I really love the variability in being able to pick, yes, one of your 3 favorite classes, but then also being able to swap between, well, I want to boost my speed and dump my shield because I just want really fast like reaction speed to go help my buddy out.
Yeah.
Or I want heavy shield and heavy damage so that I can just lay waste, to this guy in front of me.
If you go with the heavy mech, if you go tanky, you can go uber tank, where you get rid of your energy, you get rid of your speed, and you put your strength and your power, your attack and your defense all the way up. You don't move,
Mega tank,
but you pack a wallop.
You're a juggernaut at that point, right? Really hard to stop.
I'm the juggernaut.
Especially in close range, like those heavy tanks are just brutal.
And that looks like our game is just about done.
Score's 9-3 right now. Just wrapping it up. Mamma mia.
All right, nice job by the team here in Salt Lake City. Virtualities with a big, healthy lead, and they get the victory.
Dun, 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 dun. 10-3. Victory goes to Virtualities Salt Lake City. Well done, gentlemen.
You know
Well
why they
done.
won?
Tell me.
They were the USFF.
Nice. We got all smiles here. All smiles. So while we're switching out and getting ready for our next matchup, we'll bring some of our local players here and get to know them a little bit better. So I'll vacate my seat and let Dan run the spot.
All right.
You good for that?
Yep.
We'll swap this and get some space.
All right, we're just doing a little configurating. All right, let's bring over our guys, or one of them. Yep, one of you guys. Yeah, Bueller. Hey, Jesse.
What's going on, man?
How you doing? Congratulations
Pretty good.
on your victory.
Thank you so much.
So, run us through kind of the way you guys prepped for this.
Okay, so both me and DeMonte, honestly, haven't really been playing the game all that much.
That's a humble brag. That's a humble brag.
No,
folks.
we really haven't. Like, we've played it literally maybe 2 days at the most. But we really made it like a focus to understand each other's, like strats. I know DeMonte's, he's really good on the light class, so he gets on that. He's all over the place. He's got heavy damage whenever, I go out there and I'm basically the hey guys, shoot me, while DeMonte goes around you and gets you. So, I mean, that's all we really did.
Nice. So we watched, you were more the heavy class. You turned up your shields. We kept looking at you guys working the levers above your head. We saw DeMonte. He would just kind of look up, flip his speed, zoom around, get some shots from behind. They'd turn around. He wouldn't be there because he'd already be moved on to his next spot. It was like a ghost. And then you'd go, pow, pow, pow. That's how it sounded. But take us through this game itself. What do you like about it, and how the 2v2 aspect works?
No, it is super cool, and like you said, so you have these classes, so you can swap between being a heavy guy, and you hit hard but you move slow. There's been games where we've lost against other players who've just played, for example, say 2 lights, and I'll be playing heavy and he'll be playing light, and they'll swarm us, right? And they'll be on me, and DeMonte can't get them because they'll be all over the place. So that's the cool aspect about it. It's not like there's one specific way to win the game.
There's no real meta.
Yeah, there's no real meta. There probably is a meta, but not one.
But we don't know it yet.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a super fun game. Really cool to like cooperate with your friend and be like, hey man, they're over here and I'm low on health. Can you try to distract them while I find some HP? So I think it's cool. It's a fun game.
So knowing where the power-ups are.
It's super useful. If you know where the power-ups are and roughly what time they spawn, then you kind of give yourself an idea. After a fight, you're like, all right, I know exactly where I gotta go get HP, right? And I think it's likewise if the enemy team knows as well, they know exactly where to find you.
Right, and those health packs are huge. And then there are 3 different energy level packs, correct?
Yeah.
And so you want to know where the big ones are so that you can get your energy up the quickest.
It goes green, yellow, red.
Okay, perfect. So what kind of things do you want to shout out? You want to give anyone a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Val Esports. You guys are awesome. Best freaking esports place ever.
You can't shout out yourself.
Oh, okay, right. I can't. Yes, I guess I can't. No, I mean,
you want to say hi, Mom?
Yeah, hey, Mom. I love you. Happy birthday. Today's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom!
Yeah, today's the 10th.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, Mom.
Today's the 11th.
Is it the 11th?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was yesterday.
Well, happy birthday yesterday, Mom.
We celebrated yesterday, that's right.
All right. That's Jesse. Nice playing with you.
Thank
Good
you
job
so much.
advancing.
Yeah.
And are we going to bring Joe back? Or are we going to get DeMonte in here? Let's get
see.
DeMonte in here. DeMonte! Take a seat, my friend.
How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Congrats on your victory.
Thanks.
So, we saw you were kind of the light class. We saw Jesse was more the heavy class, more look at me, and then you would sneak around behind.
That's kind of the idea.
Okay. So, what kind of played into that? How'd you guys make that decision?
Well, we had tried out the game, I think like last week when we had tried it out. We played for like a few hours, and he happened to be the one that I played it with. And so we did a bunch of 1v1s, and we just tried out all the classes. And I really liked, in VR and in games in general, I like mobility. And so I really gravitated towards the light class because I can go fast and I can move a lot. And so he gravitated towards the heavy class because that was the one that he would ruin me on. And so when we started practicing today, we did a bunch of public matches and we tried out other compositions, and they didn't work as well. Some would work really good against specific enemy team comps, but this one was the one that we're like, all right, we're going to open with this and we're going to go with this because it's the most solid one we have. And if that doesn't work, we'll switch it up after based on what they're running.
Awesome. So, taking into account the strategy, because you can change mid-game. After every life, you can change your class, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then we saw you a lot of times, you'd be zipping around, you'd look up, you flip a switch, you'd want to increase your speed, flying around. How intuitive is that to...
At first, I thought, like, when I first saw the game, it was like one of those things where I'm like, oh no, there's so many buttons. And then, like, after I played for a little bit, like, I started to be like, okay, so I can just do this real quick, and I just flick my wrist up, and I kind of set my other ones, like pretty much what I primarily would mess with would be energy, speed, and defense. I would just have my damage permanently maxed. And so I would just like kind of flick it a little bit, just like get it a little bit up so that that's the main one I'm focused on. And it feels really natural now, like after a little bit of gameplay. And I'm surprised at how easy this game is to pick up, to be honest, because we haven't practiced as much as we should have, that's for sure. But it's a very intuitive system, by my opinion.
Well, I mean, you got time before the next round.
That's for
you
sure.
guys advanced to the Elite Eight. You know, so you're in the quarterfinals. So congrats on that. We'll find out who who else is advancing in the bracket, who your next matchups are. Now, talk to me about this game versus the last tournament, because we met you last time with Space Pirate Trainer, right? So what are kind of the differences, and what?
It's a lot less panic. That's definitely one of the biggest things. Is that the Space Pirate Trainer? It was a lot of me moving around, getting to the edge of my boundaries for the VR, and then like moving back. So like I would get into like a pattern of dodging where I would get to the very edge, then start making my way to the other edge. Whereas this is a lot more of you have to. It's like you're in a mech. Like it's not something where like, oh, I can just turn around and do this. No, it's one of those things where like you gotta move yourself back, move yourself around, and kind of just like once. You have to be aware that you're in this big mech, and that like you can't just peek around this wall. You can't lead around the wall. You have to like get your mech around the side of it, shoot, move your mech around the other side, back to it. And so like you kind of have to play in mind with that you're bigger than you feel. Like it feels like you're piloting this thing rather than you're yourself.
Awesome, for sure. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anyone while we're here?
Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks Mom for the gas money to come here.
Thank you, Mom. All right, well that is DeMonte. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck next round. Good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Hopefully we'll make it farther.
Hopefully we do. And we also want to give a big shout out to Midlands, Texas. I am not good with remembering names, so I'm going to look it up. We want to give a big shout out to Pandora's Box VR in Midland. Thank you guys for participating in this event. Unfortunately, your time in the tournament has come to a close, but we have lots more tournaments coming up. We have lots more events and more opportunities for you guys to come back and play. We're having a lot of fun here. I'm just here by myself, but we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to take like a 5-minute break as we get the next match set up. So stick with us. We'll be right back. All right. We are back and better than ever. I am Danny J, a.k.a. Jakobescu. I am here with my friend Smurfy McSmurfface. No, that's not true.
Sometimes.
This is Joe, a.k.a. Galahad. He is the man. He's my partner in crime tonight, and we've been having fun, man.
It's been a good scene.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Chat's been really good, throwing out shout-outs to our different players. Some good tips also for our athletes coming.
Tips and tricks,
yeah.
So, lots of good stuff. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to the viewers. And really, that's what we're doing this for. We're doing it so the athletes can play and people can watch.
We just want to be liked. What's wrong with that? Just want to be liked. We're here to have some fun. Tonight we have Archangel Hellfire is what's being played. If you're new to the stream or you're just jumping in now, we are Virtual Athletics League, and we're running a Archangel Hellfire Battle Mech Warrior PvP multiplayer action, and it's been a lot of fun tonight. So far we've had
2 great matches. We had New York versus Orlando.
VR World in New York came out on top, and then Virtualities based in Salt Lake City as well. And also big shout out and thanks to
Midlands, Texas.
That was Pandora's Box VR, as well as it was
VR Territory Orlando.
Orlando. Thank you. Good memory.
VR World.
Yes.
New York. Next to the Empire State Building. Hanging at left.
Right next to it. Yeah.
Or right, depending on which direction you're headed.
So who do we have up next?
Next up, we have LA, VR Territory LA.
And VRcade Calgary, Canada, coming up. International tournament, folks. North America, heavy representation here.
That's right. Don't make me break out my Canadian.
Yeah. So cool detail here, VR Arcade Canada. These guys are actually, they've been involved in a lot of our events so far. Great communication with their CEO, Jason Van Heerden. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for participating.
I want to give you guys a shout out up there, eh?
We have pulled a very generous and honest review from Google about VR Arcade Calgary, saying, absolutely amazing place. Had so much fun and the staff was great. We'll definitely go back. Thanks from Amazon for having us. Oh, so you guys had Amazon come to your arcade. That's really cool. Yeah. Good job, Amazon.
Well, way to go there, Amazon.
Good job.
Good job posting that review, eh?
Yeah. So these guys founded in Lethbridge, 2016.
All right.
We have an update from our producers.
Just so you guys know, there are other matches that are going on off stream. One of them took place. VR Junkies Arizona took down Orem, Utah. They swept them 2-0, and there was a valiant effort put forth out of Orem, but they were beaten soundly.
So VR Junkies
by the
Arizona
VR Junkies Arizona.
will advance.
They are advancing.
Very
Orem,
good.
unfortunately, will be bowing out. We will see you guys next tournament, which, by the way,
Coming up soon.
what is that tournament?
Great question, Jakubescu. So
know.
here at Virtual Athletics League, we run two types of tournaments. One's like tonight, where it's a limited arcade, kind of an invitational, like 16 arcade tournament, where we have arcade versus arcade action, and then we have global high score tournaments. End of this month, we have a Halloween special. We have a Halloween double feature between Arizona Sunshine. If you hate zombies, it's the perfect title, which I don't like zombies, so might as well put a bullet to that brain and end that poor
Rule number one
creature's existence.
is cardio,
Right?
and rule number 2 is double tap.
Very good. Real quick before we continue on tournaments, so VR Arcade, sorry for the swip swap, but we just didn't want to cut those guys short real quick before. Get me with that reminder, right, after I get to VR Arcade, okay? Yeah, so VR Territory LA is the next arcade that we're hitting up.
Yes, yes. VR Territory LA. I think you have both copies of our
Do I really?
Yep.
The agenda?
fairly certain. So LA, they were a major role in the VR ecosystem. They're working hard with different VR studios, hardware manufacturers, and consumers. They are in LA, which is kind of where a lot of that.
A lot of
that's
VR
happening.
action in LA. Very, very true.
So they're doing a nice job trying to work on the affordability, trying to bring everything down so that the average everyday gamer can play it. So instead of getting your own stuff, go there. If you're in LA,
Yeah.
you can wear high heels. You can wear whatever you want.
I will not wear high heels, although I have a high respect, like respect plus 10 for those who do game in high heels. Good for the
So-
calves, I hear, but man, that's hard for balance and comfort.
Yeah. So VR Territory LA, they're really dedicated to the VR cause.
Yeah.
And
That brings up
yeah.
a really good point. Like, how many of you at home have your own VR headset, whether it's a Windows Mixed Reality, Oculus Rift, or HTC Vive?
I don't yet. HTC.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, right? VR is still very much it's an expensive investment, for gamers and for those wanting to get into the medium. You have to not only have the VR hardware, you have to have the gaming PC strong enough to power
Yeah.
it, and that's intense. I'd say
You need at least a 1070 at least.
1060, 1070s. You want to future-proof it. 1070s are a good bet. But then you need solid memory. You need enough. Your CPU's got to be pretty solid as well. Man, it's just it's intense in the computing power that you need to run your VR. So it is cost prohibitive for a lot of people, which is why VR arcades have kind of had a really interesting last couple of years where people want to experience VR, but they don't want to shell out $1,200 or more, for all the equipment. Costs are rapidly coming down, which is really exciting, seeing things become more and more accessible and untethered from the PC. HTC now has a unit called the Vive Focus, which will begin selling in the US very soon. It kind of has gone through its first phase of manufacturing and consumer marketing in China, in mainland China, and then Oculus also has a standalone headset with 2 controllers of 6 Degrees of Freedom called the Oculus Quest that they announced at their most recent conference in San Jose. So things are going to get really interesting in the gaming scene.
It's going to be really fun, and this is uncharted territory. So we're seeing the future happening right now, which is so cool.
Yeah, very much. I mean, and what's interesting is that this is not the first wave of VR. This is like the second wave of VR. Interestingly, here's a history point for everybody. Ivan Sutherland from the University of Utah, right? So this is the 60s. So this guy created what he called the Sword of Damocles, which is like, think of like a Buick hanging from the ceiling and it's strapped to your head. And that was the first like head-mounted display, right? Think about that, like this huge mechanical beast hanging from the ceiling in the 60s. 90s came around, and then you see guys like Sega, Nintendo coming out with their VR headsets.
Virtual Boy.
Yeah. The original Virtualities was another company. You saw those like in the Mall of America. You see those really big like little treadmills with these massive headsets. I
remember those.
Like playing, right? And that was the thing. That was the thing in the 90s. But graphics processing, again, wasn't good enough. It was like...
It was red.
Murdering
really
people's
red.
eyes. Not
Seizures.
good for your health. Not good for your health, yeah. So again, we're in a really new, amazing era of VR technology and experiential technology.
And what's also really cool about the technology nowadays is we're able to have these online tournaments. Like, we have the technology, whether you're looking at the League Esports, where we run online gaming rec leagues and tournaments for the average gamer, or you're looking at Virtual Athletics League, where it's online virtual reality tournaments where you're competing globally against people all over the world. And it's just so cool to see these companies, these communities coming together and in a way that they've never been able to before.
Yeah, globally, esports is really coming into its own right now, and it's been amazing watching the evolution of competitive gaming and how we've seen it go from college dorm room, local-based network, LAN parties, right?
I ran those.
I mean, South Korea is super active in that department for a long time, pioneering that space in so many ways, right? The competitive scene.
And like 70% of that country plays StarCraft.
And then broadband internet comes out, boom, all of a sudden LAN's still fun for you and your buddies, but now you can play against a guy in South Korea while you probably wouldn't want to. I mean, for ping, and for server distance and node and all that. But anyway, you just get murdered, right?
Yeah, you'll lose.
And now, we're on the cusp of 5G technologies coming out that are just have some really interesting implications for high-speed internet. And look at VR, wireless VR, and what they'll be able to do with 5G. Super cool.
Yeah. So really cool things coming out in the future. And we were talking about upcoming events.
Thank you for the reminder. Yes. So we mentioned briefly Arizona Sunshine. This is a title published by Vertigo Games, and these guys
doesn't give you vertigo.
No.
We hope.
And it's not an Alfred Hitchcock film either.
It's scary though.
So Arizona Sunshine, classic. If you're into Walking Dead type and just want to shoot zombies, it's actually a really, really popular title for a lot of VR arcades. It's been a top-selling title, and a lot of people just really enjoyed it. And it's very straightforward to pick up, and they have an arcade-specific edition now that's made getting in, and you can shoot your zombies in under 2 minutes now. Get in and start shooting fast. And Vertigo Games also published Island 259, which is like a dinosaur shooter game. Think like Turok type of game. Developed by Cloudhead Studios, really cool group of guys.
Yeah, Island 359.
What was I calling it? 357 or something like that?
I think it was 259. You were off by
wrong area code, guys. Wrong island. That was
Island 359. Island 259 is inhabited by penguins. It's a very peaceful area.
They haven't made the VR game for that.
No, but the 359 that you're gonna have dinosaurs. You're gonna have them coming at you. It's Jurassic World in VR.
And it's Cloudgate Studio. Did I call him Cloudhead? I think I call him Cloudhead. Yes. Those guys are awesome.
Full of correct information, this one.
Thank you. Yes. It's been a long week. Yeah. So it'll be a double feature. So what that means is you go to an arcade.
That means 2 features.
Double.
Yeah.
You go to an arcade. They'll put you in the headset. You'll do your round of Arizona Sunshine, and then immediately after they collect your score, then you'll do a round of Island 359. And then your cumulative score will be submitted for your global high score, of which then prizes will be distributed for top players.
Good prizes like an HTC Vive Pro.
And their new VR wireless accessory, which is really cool. It's a little attachment that just clips right to the top of your Vive Pro headset, and it makes it so you don't need that pesky cable anymore, and you can free roam. Yeah.
Watch out, people.
Yep. Time for wandering VR nomads now, crossing the streets with their wireless
We're almost ready
attachment.
for the Oasis.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Ready Player One, man. What do you think about that?
The book or the movie?
Yes.
Because I read the book and finished it the day before I went to see the movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what's your thought on just like an integrated world, of virtual technology?
I think that's kind of where we're headed.
Already there in some ways?
In some ways.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought.
Concept? Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, I know I've had plenty of people with whom I've talked that said, once the Oasis is a real thing, they're never coming back to the real world because they can be whatever they want and whomever they want in the Oasis.
And while I can appreciate the be whomever you want, not feel judged, and be able to express yourself and not be fearful, in these interesting spaces, I'm very much like a real world guy. I mean, what is it? James Halliday says, after all, this is the only place you can get a decent meal, right? In meat space.
It's true.
Yeah. So, like, VR, I think it has amazing potential for education, for medical, for
especially in the medical
enterprise.
field.
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage for these future surgeons or current surgeons to go in and learn new techniques and practice on virtual cadavers.
Well, say for example, there's this guy doing cutting edge research in Switzerland, but I'm in New Mexico, for example, while using VR technology.
Why would you ever want to be in New Mexico?
Just
Just kidding, New Mexico. Just kidding.
They need
kind
doctors
of.
too.
Kind of.
That's a good point. I think I drove through there once. Meow Wolf. If you ever get it, Meow Wolf it's this really cool immersive like entertainment art gallery that has interesting stuff that's getting into augmented reality space too. Anywho, future of VR is really exciting. We're here at VAL Esports and with the League Esports getting into competitive gaming scene. And pioneering that's been really interesting. So I'm really curious because you kickstarted out in we say traditional gaming, right? But like PC or console-based gaming, which I still absolutely love. Like that's how you guys really launched your guys' service.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you see so far in the differences in VR esports community and growth, or in the rest of the esports space?
Well, if you look at PC or you look at console, they're much bigger, grander bases. A lot more people are able to play them because it's a lot cheaper to play. It goes back to the money, where we were talking earlier about how VR is so expensive. Even if you have a good rig, to get your VR stuff up and running, it's difficult to, unless you have excess funds.
Yeah,
which
to really jump in.
I mean, a lot of us don't. If you got a wife and kids, and, or you're a college student and you're eating ramen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at Riot when they built out League of Legends for like every PC build for the last decade. It can just run on everything, and Fortnite now is interestingly available on more and more devices, including mobile devices. So growing out the esports kind of competitive
And
scene
PlayStation finally gave in. PlayStation gave in and said, we'll play with everyone. It's the first game that's...
Backwards compatibility is now a thing, right? Yeah.
Backwards compatibility has been a thing with Microsoft for a while.
A long time, right? Yeah.
But... yeah, so you have more established bases. You have your PC, PC Master Race people. You have your Xboxers, Halo's Life. You have your PlayStation. All I want to do is
Cool borders. It's a classic, folks. Okay. Anyway.
But so you have bigger, broader bases.
Yeah.
Games are a little cheaper. It's a little easier to access. But VR, as we're seeing with the VAL and with VR arcades popping up all over the place, it is becoming more and more wanted, more and more accepted, and a lot more accessible, even though it's harder to do it at home. There are more VR arcades all over the place, and so having global tournaments like what the VAL is doing is just making it easier, bigger, broader, and better.
It's exciting, yeah. Let me share a quick experience from the Oculus conference we just recently went to in San Jose. Their new headset they announced called the Oculus Quest. There's no cables on it. It's a $400 headset set to come out early 2019, spring 2019. Has 6 degrees of freedom, which means you can actually walk around in space with no cable and with controllers that are being tracked, right? We did a 3-on-3 arena space. It was a 4,000 square feet space playing Dead and Buried, which is basically this Wild West zombie shooter game. But it was super cool because they had physical boxes kind of stacked up throughout this arena. And so you could dodge and hide behind these in physical and digital space, but you could also shoot through these boxes.
That's cool.
They had damage. And you could see all the other players around you, and they're all tracked really well. So, I mean, like, just think for a moment, what would League of Legends look like if it was a 3-on-3 experience where you're physically, attacking, not physically like with a baseball bat. Oh, very good.
It would look like people are stuck in a lane.
Stuck in a lane, but
all right.
Exciting things ahead. Yeah,
but we're done with talking about League of Legends. We're going to jump into our last match of the night.
Very good.
We are live with VR Territory LA. Due to some
Calgary.
technically difficulties up in Calgary.
Canada.
Yeah, in Canada. We're unable to get them on stream, and only one stream coming in from LA. So we will be paying attention here. It will actually probably help us to know what's going on and follow the pace of play a little bit more, at least from this one player's perspective.
I just made a connection. VR Territory LA and VR Territory Orlando. I did not know that they were related going into this.
They're cousins.
Now we know. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we are with player
This
X.
is Genesis Facility first match. Player X.
Because we don't know his name, so we're going to call him Player X.
It's kind of cool. Like Professor X.
I wonder if he's bald and in a wheelchair.
Probably,
You can still play this game.
playing with his mind. I love it. So let's see. So some basic, just kind of tactics as well as abilities that are important to know. The presets above the pilot's head are actually, you can put them on manual or on auto mode. So rather than like having to configure your shield and power and speed mode slider up and down, you can just wave your hand up on your left and your right, and it'll max out either of those sides instantly, depending on the situation.
So if you're trying to get your energy, especially at the beginning of a match, a lot of players would like to get their energy. They'd like to learn so they can get to those power uses, those power abilities. So they'll kick up their energy really quickly. They'll get their speed up so they can move and flank. And then once they get those special abilities, they then kick up their power, their damage, and blast you with it.
Yeah, I love little things like that just give you that extra edge to help you win. We see a lot of online pros. It's interesting how they use their shields tactically. So sometimes you'll see them use a double shield, but more often you'll see a single shield, and they'll position their body kind of at an angle, using their position with the rocks or with the cliffs to kind of help give them extra cover for there. And they can shoot back, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, and cool here, you can shoot through the shields. You don't have to reach all the way around your shield. You can actually shoot through it. Don't know how that works, as far as physics goes, but I'm happy that it works for these mechs.
Well, in the year 2296, technology has allowed for one-way penetration of bullets.
Impressive, especially for energy weapons. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't know that, Joe.
Hey, do you think these guys are tired after the match?
No, because they're sitting down.
I'd imagine it's because they had a hard drive home from work that they're so tired after their matches. There we go. Dad joke number 3, everybody.
That was so bad.
Not bad. It was all right.
It was not good either. As we see the player go down, he's coming back. Looking like he's taking... That's the middle, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat.
Score is 6-2, 8-2. Coming to a close here, this first match. We do know that headshots do twice as much damage, so if you got good accuracy, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, if you can get that railgun on the medium mech, or if you can get a rocket to the face, high power, high damage. So we see this player fall again. He just got a little too stagnant in that battle. He stopped moving, was worried more about shooting and accuracy as opposed to dodging.
Mobility plays such a key in this. I mean, really, you can use your shields and boost your defense to give you just invulnerability. Wow, 10-2. Okay, so that was a quick first match.
So we're
Who was the winner on that one?
Calgary.
The Arcade Calgary. Way to take that one, guys.
Hey, that's what we're talking about, eh? Thanks for coming in and playing this first one. So Joe, tell me, well, what does LA need to do to kind of change their fortunes around a little bit?
I imagine there's some communication that needs to happen between the players. It's probably already happening, but teamwork is always going to leave you in a better situation. Stay close together and use your surroundings. I really think that if you feel like you're just getting beat up by the other team, play closer together so that you're never left alone to get picked off.
Yeah. Communication needs to improve, obviously.
Right. Just like any good relationship or marriage, communication
Pillow
is a two-way
talk
street.
is a real thing and it is necessary. Relationship facts 101.
Truth, folks.
Things you only get here with the Virtual Athletics League or the League Esports.
Brought to you by not relationship experts.
But we're both murdered.
There we go. Yeah. So I think
Happily?
definitely, man. Yeah, I love my wife.
Dude, my
She's
wife's so
wonderful.
far out of my league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way out.
She's not in your league esports.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, if we all get lucky, then we all marry up a little bit. It's like upgrading your life. So VR territory LA, still got a shot? Think they can get back in this?
I think with the next map, they need to communicate a little bit more. They need to know where the power-ups are. They also need to know the power-up respawn time. Now, every time you grab a power-up,
Yeah.
it does take a little bit longer to respawn that next time.
Interesting. Yeah. So one way to control that also is not only for your own health, but to prevent the other team from boosting their own health, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can't pick up a health when you're at 100%, but take a little bit of damage here. Just grab that health pack.
Just step on that nade.
That's all you got to do.
They don't have nades.
That's all you got to do.
They don't have nades in this game.
Yeah. We know, let's see, headshots, double damage. Shots to the jetpack, in the jetpack area, just right on the back, is 1.5 damage, interestingly. So
It's a despicable play, but it's good.
yeah, so if you can be
Not honorable.
light class mech, you can use your invisibility to ghost around the back and just get some really good damage in, especially if your teammate is drawing fire from the front, for example.
As we
or-
saw with Virtualities here in Salt Lake City, that was kind of their ploy.
Interesting strategy they're using. Fairly effective from what they're doing.
It worked well for them, yeah.
Let's see, some other fun, tips from our players online wanting to share some Archangel Hellfire knowledge. Light mechs have a distinct advantage for escaping with speed defense preset active and for grabbing the pickups. Of course, they have faster speed, but they can also drop their defense and boost their speed. And man, those guys are hard to catch. Yeah, really, 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 really tricky.
It's like a jackalope.
Yeah, like a jackalope.
You ever been jackalope hunting or snipe hunting?
Can't say I have been.
If you haven't, you're missing out. Good times.
Let's see.
Dad joke number 7.
Oh my. It has to. They're organic, you know. They just happen in the moment. It's hard to plan for dad jokes. That's the thing.
All right, so it looks like we're trying to get into our second game. We're just waiting for the players to connect. We will be jumping in here. So talk to us a little bit about this map, Joe.
So match 2, AgriZone 96 and the lore that we've so far created here at the
Yeah, I
League
really
Esports
want to
and
know.
Virtual Athletics
I
League
really want to know what they do with this.
is the year 2296. Used to be Wyoming is what,
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
we're,
it used to
not
be
Montana,
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yep.
We have two brothers. Is it Eli or Lester?
Eli.
Eli and his brother, they were having a quarrel about, their land. One guy was using tractors and the other guy was using mechs for farm work, and that's where Transformers came from.
Yep, Transformers.
Transformers.
The precursor to these mechs.
Yes, they were actually all working on in the fields.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Couple quick adjustments, and they were turned into battle bots.
Yeah, I mean, instead of chucking bales, they're chucking lead, and lasers at each other. So it makes sense. It's a natural evolution of farming equipment is to turn it into weaponized stuff.
Yeah. We saw it in the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. Tractors turned into tanks.
Weaponized
I guess,
tractors.
Right? Weaponized tractors. For all your plowing needs,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
So it looks like we had a map error. They're going to need to reset the lobby. They're not going to need to reset the lobby.
They're in.
They might be in. They might be not.
Or Vera Territory's in. Double checking.
Okay. Looks like things are going again.
Resetting one more time. Gotcha.
Resetting one more time. All right. So we're going to welcome you back to the caster desk as that false start happened. Technical errors, people. It happens. This is live event.
It's so true.
And it's not even here where we are
On a
in Salt Lake City.
In the really big budget productions as well, like it's really impressive getting to see behind the scenes of a production to see what's going on, right? So you have the two guys here, you have the producers on the side that are scrambling everywhere to make sure cameras are looking good, make sure the feed is active, make sure everyone's communicating with the players and with the coaches, to the fans also, and those that are on the Twitch stream and other channels as well. And as well, just the hardware. Oh my gosh, like even in my office, like my VR equipment just gives me issues all the time. I can't wait for the day when it just runs super well without having to worry about, oh, my USB is giving me attitude. I have to do a hard reboot. And surprisingly, in VR arcades, imagine this. I mean, you're on your own gaming PC at home, and it's just you. You might let someone else use it. VR arcades, you have dozens of people using the same unit every single day, like all day long. Okay, that just puts serious stress on the hardware that I sympathize with the arcade owners out there that are having to patch up and fix and solder things together to keep the arcade running. Yeah.
Right. So we've talked a little bit about some of the upcoming events with the Virtual Athletics League. Mm-hmm. Next one is a double feature, high score global tournament, All Hallows Eve, zombie killing madness,
and dinosaur killing
and
madness.
dinosaur killing madness, which are really just zombies, prehistoric zombies.
Though, I mean, if you buy into the recent Jurassic World narrative, they're more like endangered animals that need to be protected. So,
Right.
yeah.
That was such a bad movie.
I don't go to Jurassic World movies to like. I just know that the people are gonna get munched. That's why you go back.
It wasn't even that good.
The hard part
The
is they
story
spent
was so bad.
most of the time in a big mansion rather than on the island. I think that was the hardest part I had.
All right, we are getting back in. Looks like we have a map working this time, so we're gonna stick with this player.
Love it.
Player X. Looks like he's trying to get some of that energy up.
VR Territory
He's gonna fly
LA.
around, do a little floaty float. That's the technical term. Man, I'm gonna get trashed by the actual producers of this game. Who's that guy making weird noises?
Players tonight, it's been interesting watching different strategies being used. Some teams are playing from a high vantage point, like we're seeing right now from VR Arcade Calgary. Accuracy from distance is really impressive. With
the right weapon, you can be fairly accurate. Now, we see here with Territory LA a little bait and switch action. Player X was leading the way. He started to get shot. He backed off. Player Y, his partner, stepped in, and neither team doing a whole lot of moving.
A lot of shooting. I think Obi-Wan would have a very strong opinion about what's happening right now.
Yeah, what would that opinion be?
He would say something to the effect of, "I have the high ground," and then he would cut out your legs from under you.
There you go, nerds.
There you go. See? He had the high ground. Guys, it's gospel truth. It's straight from the Jedi, straight from Obi-Wan, and now from VR Arcade Calgary, telling you high ground makes a difference.
Yeah, you get better sightlines, longer sightlines, and if you're accurate from distance, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a quick 2-0 lead for the boys from up north, the Mounties. Now we're seeing some advancing coming out of LA.
Interesting. Maybe they were just getting tired up there. It came down to bring some destruction to the ground level. Is that the heavy tank we're looking at right now?
It looks like it's a battle between the medium and the heavy.
Up close and personal, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, dear.
There is no melee attack in this game as far as I understand.
Which is unfortunate because it'd be fun to watch a mech boxing match a la Real Steel.
Oh, man.
Remember that movie?
I do. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm curious now, this player that we're watching, what their defense and shield settings are set at right now. How high they are, how low. Because they're using their shield. I think they could use their shield a lot more. One player on the Discord channel was saying our players can probably use their shields about 500% more. They can actually take quite a bit of damage, and especially if you're ducking and weaving and using your shield boost slider, that you can take quite a bit of damage.
Now, as we see, both players here from Calgary, since we do have an LA point of view, both players from Calgary were rocking their shields as they were advancing. They're hiding behind it.
There we go.
We do see one player from Calgary go down. Now, if
LA's got 2 points.
LA can get the double team, they might be able to close this gap a little bit.
Now,
They're
to
down
take a hockey metaphor, power plays are strategic moments in the ice rink, right?
Right, Joe.
Indeed. So when one player's down, that's when your teammates got to come and help double up on you.
Or if you watch Halo, for instance, the capture the flag matches.
Yes.
If you got 2 down on the opposing team, that's half the team down.
Yeah.
You got to push, capture that flag, and start making that run.
Now this map is huge, and the players we're seeing right now are kind of fixating on this one spot of like really clear sight lines. Not a lot of places to hide for either team, but it sure does make for a really good shootout.
And if you got better accuracy and better guns, you're gonna probably win.
Yeah.
All right, now one thing about this game, you have to look down to see the map, and you see those buttons on the side. Those are the energy abilities. But if you want to be able to see your opponents, you're going to have to be able to look down. If you want to switch your mech up and customize a little bit, you got to look up and make those switches.
There's a lot of things that, the cognitive load in this game is incredibly high. A player has to not only move their physical head around to like look around through their viewport window, but then they have to use the joysticks on their Vive controllers to rotate their mech around, right? And then you can hover, and then you got to shoot, and then you have to physically grab those red icons in front of you to use your super abilities or your ultimate abilities.
Right. As our player Demonte was saying, you have to think that you are bigger than you really are.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good.
Had you stuck around for that
you know?
for that interview,
for
Joe,
that chat, yeah.
instead of running away to a little girl's room like you did.
That's a good philosophy for life, though. Just think you're bigger than you are, right? Dan, how'd that
Isn't
work
that
for
how
you?
bulimia happens?
No comment. No comment.
All right, as it looks like this match is coming close to a close here. One more chance here for LA.
9 to 5.
It is 9 to 5. A better showing here in round number 2. Looks like he's going to try to pick up that energy. However, his partner is going to fall, and that is going to be it here in match number 2 of this round 1 matchup, the round of 16.
VR Arcade Calgary takes the win
Calgary
over VR location Los Angeles, or VR territory location in Los
LA.
Angeles. I don't go to Jurassic World movies to like. I just know that the people are gonna get munched. You know, that's why you go
It
back.
wasn't even that good.
The hard part
The
is they spent
story was so bad.
most of the time in a big mansion rather than on the island. I think that was the hardest part I had.
All right, we are getting back in. Looks like we have a map working this time, so we're going to stick with this player.
Love it.
Player X. Looks like he's trying to get some of that energy up.
VR territory,
He's going to fly
LA.
around, do a little floaty float. That's the technical term. Man, I'm going to get trashed by the actual producers of this game. Who's that guy making weird noises?
Players tonight, it's been interesting watching different strategies being used. Some teams are playing from a high vantage point, like we're seeing right now from VR Arcade Calgary. Accuracy from distance is really impressive.
Yeah, with the right weapon, you can be fairly accurate. Now, we see here with Territory LA, a little bait and switch action. Player X was leading the way. He started to get shot. He backed off. Player Y, his partner, stepped in. And neither team doing a whole lot of moving.
A lot of shooting. I think Obi-Wan would have a very strong opinion about what's happening right now.
Yeah, what would that opinion be?
He would say something to the effect of, "I have the high ground," and then he would cut out your legs from under you.
There you go, nerds.
There you go. See? He had the high ground. Guys, it's gospel truth. It's straight from the Jedi, straight from Obi-Wan, and now from VR Arcade Calgary, telling you high ground makes a difference.
Yeah, you get better sightlines, longer sightlines, and if you're accurate from distance, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a quick 2-0 lead for the boys from up north, the Mounties. Now we're seeing some advancing coming out of LA.
Interesting. Maybe they were just getting tired up there. It came down to bring some destruction to the ground level. Is that the heavy tank we're looking at right now?
It looks like it's a battle between the medium and the heavy.
Up close and personal, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, dear.
There is no melee attack in this game as far as I understand.
Which is unfortunate because it'd be fun to watch a mech boxing match a la Real Steel.
Oh, man.
Remember that movie?
I do. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm curious now, this player that we're watching, what their defense and shield settings are set at right now. How high they are, how low. Because they're using their shield. I think they could use their shield a lot more. One player on the Discord channel was saying our players can probably use their shields about 500% more. They can actually take quite a bit of damage, and especially if you're ducking and weaving and using your shield boost slider, that you can take quite a bit of damage.
Now, as we see, both players here from Calgary, since we do have an LA point of view, both players from Calgary were rocking their shields as they were advancing. They're hiding behind it.
There we go.
We do see one player from Calgary go down. Now, if
LA's got 2 points.
LA can get the double team, they might be able to close this gap a little bit.
Now,
They're
to
down
take a hockey metaphor, power plays are strategic moments in the ice rink, right?
Right, Joe.
Indeed. So when one player's down, that's when your teammates got to come and help double up on you.
Or if you watch Halo, for instance, the capture the flag matches.
Yes.
If you got 2 down on the opposing team, that's half the team down.
Yeah.
You got to push, capture that flag, and start making that run.
Now this map is huge, and the players we're seeing right now are kind of fixating on this one spot of like really clear sight lines. Not a lot of places to hide for either team, but it sure does make for a really good shootout.
And if you got better accuracy and better guns, you're gonna probably win.
Yeah.
All right, now one thing about this game, you have to look down to see the map, and you see those buttons on the side. Those are the energy abilities. But if you want to be able to see your opponents, you're going to have to be able to look down. If you want to switch your mech up and customize a little bit, you got to look up and make those switches.
There's a lot of things that, the cognitive load in this game is incredibly high. A player has to not only move their physical head around to like look around through their viewport window, but then they have to use the joysticks on their Vive controllers to rotate their mech around, right? And then you can hover, and then you got to shoot, and then you have to physically grab those red icons in front of you to use your super abilities or your ultimate abilities.
Right. As our player Demonte was saying, you have to think that you are bigger than you really are.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good. I mean,
had you
that's
stuck around for
inspiring,
that for that interview,
for
Joe,
that chat, yeah.
instead of running away to the little girls' room like you did.
That's a good philosophy for life, though. Just think you're bigger than you are, right? Dan, how'd that
Isn't
work
that
for
how
you?
bulimia happens?
No comment. No comment.
All right. As it looks like this match is coming close to a close here. One more chance here for LA.
9 to 5.
It is 9 to 5. A better showing here in round number 2. Looks like he's going to try to pick up that energy. However, his partner's going to fall, and that is going to be it here in match number 2 of this round 1 matchup, the round of 16.
VRcade Calgary takes the win
Calgary
over VR location Los Angeles, or VR territory location in Los
LA.
Angeles. 2 matches to 0. So congratulations to VRcade Calgary. Again, thank you VR Territory LA for coming out, bringing your players here for some competition. Excited to see what happens next.
All right. And for one last time tonight, welcome back to the caster desk. I am Danny J, aka Jakobescu. This is Booster McFarland. Galahad.
Joe.
My partner in crime tonight. So we've seen 3 good matches. The first one, give us a recap.
First game, let me check my notes real
Orlando
quick.
and New York.
We had Orlando, VR location Orlando, and VR World based out of New York City. New York City, they took that game and will be advancing to the next round. Second game, we had Virtualities go toe-to-toe against
Midland, Texas.
at Pandora's Box VR.
Box.
That's right. And they there's a 2-game sweep in that one
Yep.
in favor of Virtualities.
Virtualities closed that box. They put those horrors away.
We saw some
They
interesting
didn't release them into the wild.
Saw interesting strategy come from the Virtualities team with a heavy light mech combo where the heavy was front and center, soaking up damage with the light being able to go around back and
Yeah, he was using the
Slice
taunt
and dice.
button.
spam that emote, right?
And then we just saw another good matchup between VR Territory
Calgary.
LA and VRcade Calgary.
Correct, yeah.
With our neighbors to the north victorious as they are in curling and in hockey.
And just being nice people, you know, just bringing it back in.
Except
guys.
for that
Bringing
one
it back
lady
in.
who couldn't get her donut at a Tim Hortons and decided to throw poop.
That's just rude.
That happened. That's a real story. If you don't believe me, go look it up.
I will not be looking.
Use
that
the
up.
Google machine.
I'll trust you on that one.
So,
A big thank you everyone that came out tonight to come participate and comment on chat. Really happy for the production here, the team here, especially for the arcades that participated, win or lose, like the Virtual Athletics League and the League Esports. We are here and dedicated to the future of VR Arcade Esports, and we love having your participation and your feedback. I mean, we really appreciate the community.
absolutely. We want to also thank all our sponsors, HTC, HP,
Springboard,
Live.
We have Skydance.
Skydance.
They made this game. I mean, these guys poured their heart and soul into making a killer Battle Mech Warrior game for everybody
And
to
it
play.
is
And
so
it's
beautiful.
And it's free.
So fun.
It is free.
It's free 90
It's free.
free. You can't beat that. And we want to thank the staff here, our producers, directors. We want to thank everyone here. Just one last quick rundown of future events.
Great. So in partnership with the League Esports, in November 2nd and 3rd, we'll be holding the Extra Life
Charity
event here in Salt Lake City. And there's, if you're not in Salt Lake, you can find a local event or nearest to you, or tune in to our Twitch channel into twitch.tv/the League Esports, and you can make donations there as well.
Yeah, or you can join our team if you wanted to participate in it. Find us. The League Esports is the team. Extra Life Salt Lake City is the fundraising name. So you can go to extralife.org, look that up, and come join our team, come participate, and let's change some lives.
Yeah. And on a less charitable note, we will be having our Halloween special end of the month, double feature, courtesy of Vertigo Games with Arizona Sunshine and Island 359. If you're only following us on Twitch right now, but you're not on our Discord, go to valvr.com and you can jump in directly into our Discord server to learn more about how to play as an athlete or as an arcade owner. And we'll even help you find a local arcade to hook you up with if you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we got some fun stuff coming your way. Look on Tuesday night for the next round. We will have our Elite 8. Again, prayers and thoughts go out to anyone being affected by the storms going on in
North Carolina.
The southeast
that whole area.
U.S.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything's okay, and we will see you guys Tuesday night. So on behalf of Galahad, Joe, McConkey, the first, I am Danny J. Yakobescu, signing off. You guys have a good night.
Thanks, everybody, and one more big shout out and thanks to the League Esports for being here. Thanks for being here, Yakobescu. I'm Galahad. Have a good night.